Well, hey guys, welcome to the studio. Today I am very excited. We've been working on a collaboration with a YouTube channel called Black Bridge Sound, which you should check out. I'll link it below. Working on a song that made use of some of the specialties from our two studios. Their studio, great drumming, great heavy guitars, good hard rock and heavy metal recording. And their channel deals with a lot of miking and cool techniques for recording that type of sound. Me, I'm an alternative indie rock kind of guy. And we had some help from some of the leadership team from our Facebook group, recording tips, all coming together. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights from the mix, specifically the guitar tones from three great guitar players, three and a half if you count me. Let's get to it. The tracks I recorded were used mainly as a guide, and this is a mid-80s American Stratocaster with a DiMarzio humbucker in it, and we got this tone out of it using some effects from Guitar Rig 6 from Native Instruments. This is what this track sounded like. Now, we asked Jarrett Lowry from Black Bridge Sound to recut these guitars, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the equipment that we used. Here's the tracks he sent us.
I used an Epiphone Prophecy Explorer. It's got Fishman Fluence pickups in it. And I ran that through Marshall YJM and Marshall 1960B cabinet, vintage 30s and G12 75s in it. So it's got like a mix. I put them in an X pattern in that. That's killer sounding cabinet. So I know I used the Lewitt 240 Pro, and I think I used an SM57 as the other mic. I'm not 100% sure now.
Orrin Fisher sent us some tracks as well, and he's a very colorful, transitional, melodic player. And we hear him in the very beginning of the song, and I did automate it so his volume came up. I wanted it to sound like an approaching train because that's the topic of the song, and it worked really well for that. Here's what he sent us. Kind of some cool tones there.
That was a Godin. It has a Floyd Rose on the tail end, the locking nut on it. I can't remember the red line, Godin red line. It's got a 25.5-inch scale and a 16-inch radius. It's all made of Canadian maple. And I was going into the RP355 and then direct from there into the old Behringer 404 HD. It sounds good, it's comfortable, and they always work.
Joe Breitenbach covered all the solos in the song, and he does his own processing, and he'll tell us about that in a second. Here's what he's got. Now, all the echo that you hear on there and all the reverb, you can blame that all on me.
This little bad boy right here, I don't know if you can see that, but this is probably, oh geez, about 35, 40 years old now, this pickup. And it sounds really good as you heard. But this is DiMarzio's, I think their hottest pickup that they've ever made or something. It's like you can't get a clean sound out of it, really. It's so hot. It's really nasty sounding. It doesn't sound nice at all.
I got to get one.
Yeah. Oh, this is made for a Marshall stack. And it's as simple as that.
The drums came to us also from Black Bridge Sound by Mike Cotton. Let's check this out. Great grooves. Now, for the bass guitar, this is a Fender P bass run through a Line 6 amp with a direct line DI taken out of that amp. a great preamp that they have on the Line 6 bass amps. What we did was we took the track and duplicated it and processed them differently. It sounds like this. Here's both the bass tracks together. And let me show you what each one does. One covers only the sub bass and it's clean. And the other one covers just mid-range and up, and it is overdriven. And so combined, we get this. And that sits in the mix. And I have it turned up way too loud right now, just making the point of what it does. And for the vocals, and this was my job, everything was double tracked, slightly split panned. We did run some EQ on it, which is rare for me, but we did. You can see it here below. A little bit of de-esser, some reverb, and a little bit of delay on it.
Gone on the stone right now, and now I'm singing a sound. I'll never let you down.
And kind of a cool distorted extra track that we did in mono. The Ransom Stone left the station in Sacramento in 1945. Lots of echo on it, designed to sound like an old newscast from the 1940s. So a lot of big guitars, a big bass, big drum sound, and some kind of sneaky vocal manipulation to try to get it all to sit together. And this is what the mix sounded like when it was blended. The Ransom Stone left the station in Sacramento in 1945. 5 days later. Yeah, kind of cool stuff. I'm actually a big fan of this. Now, what we're listening to here is just the basic mix. We took this mix and we sent it along to Oren Fisher to do the mastering on it. Travis Hill also ran one of the masters. For this video, we did go with Oren Fisher's master on this because I think it translated better for a video release on YouTube. When we put this song out on SoundCloud, there's a good chance, though, that we will use the master from Travis Hill because I think for as far as an audio mix goes, his was very, very good. Now, this was a fun project, a great way for two YouTube channels to kind of come together and work together. I wish we would see more of this from YouTube channels. We did it for fun. The song was written and rough tracked in about an hour. Everybody put some time into getting their parts to sit well and work with the other players. A great job mastering from Oren Fisher and from Travis Hill on this. And the video was put together by Oren Fisher. We would love to hear your comments, criticisms, critiques on the mix, the video, on the mastering, anything that you'd like to tell us. We do this as part of our learning process so we become better at engineers. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the official video for the song Stone Ride.
Nice to know you. We're falling down again.
Oh man, so much fun. I had a great time putting this sort of demo video together. I very much enjoyed the Zoom call that we had with Jarrett, especially from Black Bridge Sound. Mike was actually on tour in America, the drummer from Black Bridge Sound, but both of those guys put down the real foundation for that song. And then we had the cool melodic guitar parts that was all Orrin Fisher, and then all the smoke and lead stuff that was Joe Breitenbach. And my rhythm guitar was kind of buried just sort of like a little bit below Jarrett's on there. That's just how I found it sitting. Everything better in the mix was with my track almost. You could have killed my track and it wouldn't have made any difference to the song. But I did have fun beefing up my bass line a lot with that dual track thing where it's low and clean or high and overdriven, and getting that mix in there. It was hard to get the vocals to sit against three guitars. And that's why you see that scoop out around 1K on the vocals. It was about 6 dB. Also, I probably should have used a different mic when I recorded the vocals, but the vocals went on very early in the recording, and I kind of liked the way that, I guess the way I presented the vocals on it, I guess. And I was like, maybe I should go back with like an SM57 or a Pile 57 clone would have been better. I did use the Rode NT1 on this. It's like my normal go-to when I do a vocal track. And the mix was tricky. The mix was definitely tricky. And I really would love to know more about what because we had two mastering engineers do independent masters on this. Travis did a great master, and I think that is probably the one that we're going to release for the audio release. But as far as getting something that sits well with a YouTube video, because it's so visual, and watching some of the ideas of the video clips that we had and listening to both masters, I think the Orrin Fisher master was a good fit for the YouTube release as well. It's a tough call because they're both excellent mastering engineers, and they actually really kind of heard it very consistently, kind of the same way. But if you've heard both masters, if you A/B between them, you can hear some differences. And I think there might have been a little bit more bass punch in the Travis mix, and I'm not sure that would have really translated well to the YouTube video, which is, I think, more people watch on their phone or on earbuds or something, and that bass may not have been carried over exactly the same way. Orrin even points out, yeah, Travis did kill the mastering on this. It's so weird to make a call like this because you're dealing with two really, really talented engineers, and their end products are actually very, very similar, and they go about it in very, very different ways, both super high quality though. Glenn mentions good editing on the video. Yeah, absolutely. And Glenn Robertson, great songwriter that is part of our Facebook group, which I'll plug right now, Recording Tips. And you just heard the leadership group of Recording Tips, which is associated with this video channel, and Black Bridge Sound. And those guys are also members of Recording Tips. And the types of collaborations that we see going on right now, Adam is running that Mix Festival thing, where I think it's like a 65 track song, and for fun, and there's a dozen people doing a mix on that, and I'm involved with that too. Huge amounts of fun, cool collaborations always going on in our Facebook group, Recording Tips. Check it out on Facebook. All right, guys, thank you for bringing all the effort into this, and I know it was a couple of weeks. We had this put together pretty quick. I gotta say, it's a real pleasure working with people who have been doing collaborations up to this point, because they're getting really, really good at picking their moments and playing along with other people. The kind of stuff that we used to do, live in a room with a band, but now we're online and kind of listening to everybody else and figuring out where our best fits are. And this song, I think, is sort of the pinnacle of where we've been with our collaborations. But all kinds of stuff going on in the group, from synth stuff to acoustic stuff to, violins and vocals and pianos and all kinds of stuff to get involved with. And I hope if you visit the group, say something. Say you'd like to get involved. It's kind of what this group's based on. Glenn, you're very welcome. Yeah, Glenn, an amazing songwriter, and he's been doing a lot of collaborations with the guys in the group, and has an amazingly good bunch of videos out. And almost everybody here runs those Olo headphones. I know Glenn does, Oren does, Joe does. I know Brian's got a set of them now. Those you saw Oren wearing them before. That was, I think, my top pick for things under $500 that had the biggest impact on my ability to record and mix well. Well, so much fun, so much fun. Thank you guys for coming out, and I appreciate all the effort, but we got a lot of work to do. Let's get to it.